30 minutes of power.
Welcome back to another lovely episode of 30 Minutes of Power, TOP, your one-stop shop for all things encouraging, entertaining, and motivating. What's going on, people? How are you doing today? We have an amazing guest for us today, okay? His name is Willie Blake. And I know what you're thinking. Willie Blake, that sounds like a country artist. No country artist here, folks. He is an incredible individual. And instead of me going through a long spiel about how awesome he is, I'm going to jump straight into his story because it is such an amazing and impactful one. So, Willie, want to first off say thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. It's a wonderful, wonderful honor to have you here.
Oh, honor's mine. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we're gonna jump right in. First grade.
Yeah. First grade.
You get the diagnosis that you have dyslexia. What's the story you started telling yourself about who you were from that moment?
Yeah. So dyslexia, first grade, hitting about 6 or 7 years old, right? And I was a curious, adventurous kid. I was out there. And you get pretty much the same energy that you do now with me. But once that dyslexia label happened, other people started treating me different. And my friends would say, hey, Willie, we're going to go play football. You hang out here and we'll catch you next time. Mm-hmm. So I'd be alone at recess. And then when it came to the school system is very heavy on reading and writing and memorization. That just happens to be one of the greatest weaknesses with dyslexia, right? And so I felt like I always had to work twice as hard to catch up to everybody else. When people were in 5th grade reading at that level or higher, I was still in 2nd grade. And just the having to people please everyone else. Mm-hmm. Because everybody else was saying, Willie, you're dumb. We got to either watch over you like you do with the bad kids because I couldn't read, or we have to put you in this special classroom. So you could just imagine as a kid it being, well, I'll make sure I'm doing everything for everything for everybody else, and maybe I'll get time for myself.
That's an interesting space, and I know like we jumped straight into it, but I wanted to start there because that is honestly where most people are still at in their life.
Yeah.
Living from a place of perfectionism and people pleasing.
Yeah. I still tell people, like, I am a recovering perfectionist. I'm still trying to figure what's going on out. But, you know, I found different systems that work and different things of like doing version 1 as quick as you can, and then you can do versions later. That's helped me out. But yeah, just that. It's sad that we grow as adults, but then we still have that kid mentality inside.
And so why I wanted to bring you on the show specifically, right? Because this isn't the first time we've dealt with the topic of dyslexia on the show. But you decided from an early age that if you were going to live with dyslexia, you were going to lead with it. Not allow it to be a crutch, not hide it, right? And so most people spend their lives doing the exact opposite, right? Whatever deficiencies or whatever things that are going on, whatever labels that someone put on me, if they're not prolific, if they're not amazing, if they're not something that makes me look good, I want to hide that. And so I want to first start off by like just giving you your flowers now, because that is a very difficult mindset to have. No, seriously, like I have a child with dyslexia and I have numeric dyslexia. So being an entrepreneur and not like seeing numbers properly is a problem. You know what I mean? Like,
a little bit, yeah. Finances and accounting and that.
Problem issues on payday, which you would just have. And so, but I don't hide those things. I bring them up front. And so whenever I see someone else who is mirroring that bravery, that vulnerability, because it is vulnerability, I'm always intrigued. Because I know what it was for me, but I want to know, what did leading with your so-called weakness or deficit, what did it cost you on day one?
what did leading with it cost me on day one?
Yeah. So like the first time you decided to take your power back, were there individuals who maybe they begin to, I don't know, like for me, I can say for me, when I started sharing openly the things that other people were hiding, I got, labeled, now I'm arrogant. Now I'm like, bragging on like, or it's, what is it called? I'm looking for empathy or sympathy, right? Like and I'm like, no, I'm sharing my story. This is how I'm moving. And now I've created.
This is me, right? That's
right.
What you're saying.
And so, so I'm asking, like, when you started doing that, like, what was different for you?
The biggest thing would be everybody thought I was now this optimistic silver lining, looking at the daisies, like, oh, you're not seeing reality as it is, you're freaking up in cloud nine. And so now instead of me being a person, it's now, well, dyslexia is a gift. It's a superpower. And like the challenges that you face, whether it's like physical or mental or whatever, you can actually use that as an advantage. Like, dude, come on. You and me are here. Let's get real. You can tell me the honest thing. You don't got to keep up this persona for everybody else. And that's what it was like. It's like, no, there are some amazing advantages to anything that you have. Everything has its good and the bad, regardless of what it is. And at the end of the day, we just get to choose. We get to choose what we want. And at the beginning, that first step, people are like, you're too enthusiastic. I don't want to listen to you because before you're thinking this way and now you're flip-flopping. We'll just call you flip-flop. That's what we'll do.
Because you're not allowed to grow and change.
Yeah. Because if you're allowed to grow and change, well, then it tells the person who's saying it that they've given up on themselves.
But this is 30 minutes of power. And like I said, I invited you here very specifically for a reason. Like, even from you sharing that the small bit on the front end about how in first grade, you had to create systems. You had to create structures. You are basically like what all the people tell us to do now in the space of entrepreneurship. Fail fast. That's literally what you were doing. You have to fail fast so that you can iterate.
Yeah, fail fast, fail forward, make mistakes, do things messy. Like, you know this, when you start on entrepreneurship journey, you can't have it perfect. You got to put out version 1. Let it be imperfect. If it's 80% done, let it be. Just, it's good. Version 1. 48 hours later, then you could put out version 2. And then a week, 7 days later, then you could do version 3. But if you hold within yourselves the idea that God's given you, but you're not putting it out there in the messiest way possible, then you're holding back something that the world needs.
I love that. I want to get into two specific tacticals because I'm a practical girl.
Love it.
Love it. Just, so I don't need all the fluff. I just tell me what to do. 2 steps. That's it. I just need 2 steps. You have something called a 2% rule.
Yes.
I want you. People listen to this podcast because they want to be empowered. And usually when you want to be empowered to do something, you're probably stuck. You're feeling powerless. You're feeling disempowered. And so just to get tactical for a second for whoever's stuck, could you break down the 2% rule and why 2 and not just like Nike, like just do it, right? Like what is it about the 2?
Yeah, 2% rule. And this originated back when I was first like turning my dyslexia into something more. Because literally I wanted to read more books. I read maybe 1 book at the time. And so I wanted to read 50, like the internet said that most CEOs read. And I'm like, that'd be awesome. Too impossible. I can't get there. Maybe 12. So I'll just start. And so it originated there. But the 2% rule is taking 2% action every single day to get to your goal. If that goal is 100%, or a dream, vision, whatever wording you want to use, if that's the 100%, check mark the bucket list, check off the to-do list item, then it's 2% action each day to get to your goal. And when I was starting to read, I didn't have the terms for this back then, but it was, if I'm going to read 12 books, well, what's my first 2%? Well, it's going to the bookshelf and actually picking the first book, which my book was a little purple book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What was the next 2%? Next 2% was then opening the book and reading chapter 1. And over time, that 2 goes to 4, to 6, to 8, and it keeps building up to then when you finish it. And I got those 12 and even got up to 50 and 60 books in a year. And you mentioned, like, why not like Nike? Just do it. Well, if you focus on the 100% of everything that gets done, you hit analysis paralysis.
Correct.
There is so much that has to go on to do something. You don't even take the first step. So it's small enough to where you're not overloaded by everything. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, too, if you focus on 1%, in my experience, it doesn't get a fire going in you. It doesn't get you out of your comfort zone. You just do things that are comfortable that seem like they move the needle. That's why I like 2%. Gets you out there enough to where you do things that are uncomfortable to help you grow that skill set or whatever it is in the direction you're aiming for, but still small enough to where it's manageable and you're able to not be paralyzed by what you have to do.
I love that. And so everything that you're saying is what every good coach right now is telling people to do, except they've learned it at a seminar, or they learned it at a training, or they learned it from their own coaching. Like, you have the blessed fortune of having had to deal with something most of your life that you initially compensated for, but then even turned that compensation into a system that you can now share with other people.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like it's fortune, right? It's like a challenge doesn't feel like fortune. But when I was first starting to read, a lot of what I was going out there teaching were just what were in these books that are behind me. I was talking about other people's knowledge. But then I started to gain experience. I started to trial and error things, and I'd only start sharing what worked well for me. So that what took me 10 years, people can do in 10 days. And that really desire just to first starting to read and then everything else, that desire turned into dedication, and that dedication to discipline. And that discipline then led me to my dream.
I love that. I love that. So just in case people are confused about what you do, I'm gonna do my best, and you tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm off key.
Okay.
But I love to reword things so that it's simplified in my mind. But you basically coach people to turn the things that they're ashamed of into their like competitive edge.
Yeah. I help people turn their challenge, what people see as their disadvantage, help them to make it an advantage. And the wording I use is like, right now it's just an untrained advantage.
The untrained advantage. All right. So people want to know, all right, how do I work with this guy? How do I get more of this content? Does he have a podcast? Does he have a book out, a newsletter, a Substack? How can we get more of this Willie Blake optimism?
All that fun stuff. Best way, I made it easy for everybody. Go to my website, coachwillieblake.com. And there you'll be able to find my social links to connect with me on the social media platforms. Links if you're wanting to work with me. It'll be a place to go on a call. And then for people who listen to amazing podcasts like this, I have a book called Break Free that names the 12 limitations that we have and how to shatter them. And that's free for everybody who is on awesome podcasts like these that listen to them.
I appreciate you so much, Willie. Man, this has been dope. Like I said, when I saw your story, I was like, we gotta get this dude on the podcast.
I
These,
appreciate that.
but no, like these are the types of things that they almost like affirm what my brain process is, right? It's like, okay, I'm not the only one who's been labeled over optimist. Like, oh, now you see the glass always half full. I'm like, if you know where I've come from, if you know the struggles and the challenges that I've had, there would be no reason for me to see anything half full. Everything would be empty. Like everything would always be empty. And when I see other people, especially people of faith, who are like, no, like this isn't woo woo. This isn't, me living in la la land. This is real life. And because it's real life, I have real tangible, practical things that have helped me, that have helped my clients, and they can help you too if you got out of your own way. Man, I love that. I love that so much. Thank you, Willie.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for being on the show, man. And we're going to go willieblake.com, everybody. Coach willieblake.com. Go and get your information. Go and hook up with this man. If you are struggling with anything, what is it? You said the untrained advantage. If you have an untrained advantage and you haven't figured out how to tap into your superpower people yet, come on now. Come on. Go on to coachwillieblake.com. Go and get his book. 12. Listen, 12 is a good number. That's a good number. You could do one a week, one a day, one a month. Like you can enter into it however you want to. And by the end of the year, you will definitely be more than 2% better than when you started. Willie, any last words you want to leave the people with?
We believe in you. Like, at the end of the day, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So you might as well believe that you can.
I love that. I love that. Thank you guys so much. Again, this is 30 Minutes of Power, encouraging you to be an empowered person, using your power to empower others. Till next time, people. Peace.
Johnny minutes of power.